Hello, everyone, and welcome to another 747 update. We have a lot to go over today. Um, these are some of my favorite updates. We didn't do anything crazy to change the software. We didn't do anything to add any like revolutionary new features, but we have a lot of just little improvements. And these are some of my favorite updates just because they just further refine Copilot. And they might not be things that you notice all the time, but they just make it feel better and to make the user experience better. So we have a lot of just little updates to go over today, but they're still really good. So let's go through them. The first is we have continued adding formatting to notes and more pages. I mentioned last week that this is going to be a big project over several updates of just updating these notes areas. And so we added them to a couple more areas. The first is in the default estimate and invoice terms and notes. So in your settings under invoices, estimates, and receipts, you can set default for invoice and estimates, both notes and terms. And now those can have formatting. So you can use bolding, you can do new headings, and you can even insert pictures in here. So that's always good. We added those on both of these. So that when you're creating invoices and estimates, you have those. So that's awesome. Another place we added it is on the internal notes for an invoice and estimate. So if I go here and create a new invoice, you'll see under these internal notes now, these have formatting as well. So it's another page. We added it to crew notes. So under crews, if you want to create a new crew or edit an existing crew, you can add notes here with formatting. And we also added it to employee notes. So same thing. I'll go here and edit this employee, and you can see on the notes, we have a note in here already, but I'll just go ahead and make that bold because that is an important note. So yeah, we're continuing to add them. We're going to start adding them to maybe some more exciting places here next week, such as items and services and that kind of stuff. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right, next thing is on the routes page, and that is we made the map bigger. So now the map up top here, it's about double the height so that you can really get in here and look at your visits and navigate the map well. When you click float map here and you scroll down, as you'll see, the map changes to this smaller size, but then when you scroll back up, it'll go back to being bigger. So just making it more usable, being able to see more visits at once and in more detail. Always a nice improvement. Okay, next thing is we cleaned up the month view on the schedule by adding these little buttons here for more events. So I think we're showing 10 events here before this button shows up, and then it'll say more events and how many are there. And when you click it, it'll open this scrollable view of those events so that the month page, if you have a lot on your schedule, the month page doesn't just get crazy long, it's still manageable. And inside here, you can still use the same features like drag and dropping visits. And it just makes it look really clean. So yeah, we made a nice visual improvement to the month page. Always welcome. All right, next thing is we did a full redesign on the My Day page. We've been going through several pages in the software, just kind of cleaning them up. Condensing the vertical space is a really big thing that we're doing. And as you can see, the information on this page is just much more readable now. It takes up much less space. It's clear with the headings here being colored, and it's just a great improvement to the My Day page. Okay, next thing is we added a setting. It's located under settings, invoices, estimates, and receipts. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see the setting here now that's use property location for tax rate. So we had some people say that they wanted to be able to toggle this off and on. And basically what that it does is when you're creating a property and you put in an address here, I'll just pick a random address. It'll actually use the location to pull tax rate. And there was quite a few people that said they don't want this to happen. And so now you can just go in your settings and toggle that off and it'll turn off this feature. So there we go. Next thing we did is changed the optimize route button. I accidentally clicked customer there. Let's go back to team and dispatch board. So you might notice the optimize save button is now down here. And this is because we just wanted it more clear what was happening when you were clicking this button. We're not really drawing a route on the map. In fact, we're just reordering the list. And so to make that more clear, we just kind of moved it down with the list. It also speeds up workflow, especially with the update we had last week where you can select and then optimize the selected visits here. It just kind of puts it in the same place, makes it really easy instead of having to go up here and scroll up. And the other thing is too, you'll notice that it's a one-click optimize now. So if you click optimize as shortest, there's now no longer a pop-up that requires another click. It just goes ahead and optimizes those visits for you. So just a nice workflow improvement. And then the last thing we did this week was just a lot of little design updates. So I kind of wanted to put this all into one section because there's nothing crazy, but I figured I'd just let you guys know anyway. And the first one of those is on the schedule page. And we used to have two sets of arrows over here. We had single arrows and then double arrows, and it was a little confusing what they did. The double arrows were changing by year, which isn't really that useful. So we simplified it and just made these arrows go to next month and previous month. The next thing is when editing a recurring visit, that is set to weekly. Let's choose this bi-weekly one here. We have these day selections, and before, when you selected which day it was on, it would just gray it out a bit, and it was kind of hard to see. I know there were some people that accidentally selected multiple days because they didn't notice another day was selected. So we simply just made the selected days turn blue instead, and so now you can clearly see which days this visit is going to be on. And the last thing is on an estimate. On estimates, you can have automations that are turned off and on specific to that estimate. And before, they were a box down here that you had to scroll past to save, and it was kind of just not needed that much. And so in order to kind of clean up the estimate page, we moved the custom automations into this drop down here, just so that they're kind of out of the way until you need them, but they're still on this page, and it just makes this page look quite a bit better. So yeah, anyway, that is what we did in Copilot this week. Like I said, nothing revolutionary, but I really enjoy these little updates that just further refine the software and make it feel more user-friendly and make your workflows faster. So hopefully you guys enjoy those workflows as well. So anyway, thank you again for using Copilot, and I'll see you next week.